Hi, welcome to episode 5. We managed to do 5 episodes already.
Yes!
So this is number 5. And I must say, I was driving to Hönefoss today.
Yes.
We were in the waiting room. I was waiting for my partner to finish and I was just waiting in a waiting room alone. It was about 17 or 18 chairs in the U shape.
Yeah.
And there was a chair, empty, like wall.
Yeah.
Empty.
Yeah.
Empty. Me. And then empty. What do you think that happened?
I think I see where this is going.
So, there was one lady with a baby coming in. She sat right next to me.
But why?
And she had the baby in the little eggy thing. I don't know what's it called.
The baby carrier?
The baby carrier.
Yeah.
And she put it right next to my leg, next to my foot.
But the rest of the waiting room was empty.
Absolutely empty. And it's like,
come on.
Why would people do it? There are rules.
In Scandinavia, at least, there are rules. You do not sit on the chair next to somebody else when the rest of the chairs are empty. That's an unwritten law in Scandinavia because we keep the distance from each other.
Also, when men goes to the toilet.
Yeah.
So what do? Do they pee next to each other?
No.
They always skip that one toilet. When we go to the cubicle, do you sit right next to the person that you know someone is in, or do you skip it and go to another one?
If I know that there are free ones, then I go to the other ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I mean, I don't wait around. I mean, I grab a door, but sometimes
it's not like you're like crawling on the floor and then just checking the shoes, yeah?
No, I'm not. but I do, like, sometimes the door, like, this door doesn't feel right to me. I have to be close to the wall, or someday I have to be close to the middle, or I can't just grab a door.
Gotcha. I usually pick the closest one to the main entrance. And do you know why?
Because that's the one people usually don't pick.
Exactly, so there are less bacteria.
Yes. I actually read a story about that too. I think it was the pandemic when it was all about bacteria, and I didn't... Because, yes, people usually move further in. And as I just said, the middle one or closer to the wall, I guess I'm in the dirtiest ones then.
Yeah, no, because people tend to use always the very furthest one.
Yeah.
Because they think that this is the one that's most likely not used that often. But it's wrong.
But do you check if there's paper before you sit down? Because I usually do.
No.
I do. Unless it's a super emergency. But otherwise, I take the extra, 3 seconds to see... Is there any paper here? Because I do not want to be sitting there without.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I usually sit down and then I check. And usually I trust the toilets.
But you've already let go by then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is I was kind of lucky, but at some point I think I was unlucky for sure. But I would be always somewhere there with my friend. So they'd be like, "Hey, can you pass me paper?"
Yeah, it's true. This reminds me of when I was in Yellowstone National Park, actually, in America. America. It was, I think it was, I mean, this is going to be a little bit of a toilet now, but it was...
so what?
We all do it.
In it. Yeah.
We do.
Go.
So, it was one of one of the public toilets near Old Faithful, actually, the geyser. Have you seen it?
No.
Have you heard about it?
No.
Okay, so it's a geyser. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's called Old Faithful because it erupts once an hour every hour. Well, actually, it's not once. It's like every 45 minutes or so. But it was because you can count on it. You know, it's always erupting. It's Old Faithful, and it's huge. Like,
how often does it erupt?
I think it's like every 45 minutes, and it's been doing that for like thousands of years.
Woo!
Yeah, it's a geyser, which, volcanic activity. So the water boils inside of it, and then it erupts. Yeah, Old Faithful, and it's super famous, and lots of people go to Yellowstone merely just to see Old Faithful and all the other beautiful, natural stuff that goes on in there. It's very... If you've never been to Yellowstone National Park or the Grand Tetons, which is just connected to it, I highly recommend it. It was a lifelong dream of mine since I was a child, because I remember, like I said, when I was a child, I wanted to move to Wyoming or Canada, so that was the dreams of even going. So when I flew over the Rocky Mountains, I cried. But anyhow, back to the toilet.
That's the important part, all right?
Back to the important part. Who cares about Old Faithful?
We want to hear about the toilet. Come on.
So, yeah, no, but American toilets are not like the Scandinavians. Because the Scandinavian, the water is quite far down. And the American, they're wide and the water is high up. And being in a public toilet... Like, I'm glad I'm wide. Oops. Slid down. No, but that's... I had, like, the nightmare was, because us girls, obviously, we have to wipe. We can't just shake and go. And I was wiping, and in a public toilet, absolutely friggity-frogging disgusting, I dipped my hand in the water. That's how shallow the toilets are. I'm sorry, Americans, but what the actual hell?
But, I mean, are you that kind of wiper, that, like, you still sit on the toilet and then you wipe as you're sitting, or do you stand?
No, I sit.
Because
I stand?
I have to stand up.
No, I don't. I don't go in, like, hockey pose. No.
I do hockey pose.
Yeah, hockey pose when you're, like, bending your knees. Like you do when you're going downhill with the skis. Yeah.
I do that.
You do?
Well, you have to check the paper. How do you check the paper when you sit?
I check it.
It's much more comfortable when you check it when you stand.
No, it's much more comfortable when you sit because then you don't have to stand in hockey.
Do you stand or do you sit?
You can still check the paper. What the hell?
Can you please let us know? I thought everyone stands.
I never heard of anyone standing when they wipe themselves.
Am I the only one who's?
But you're a bacteria freak, though. You're not a fan of bacteria. I'm not saying that I'm a fan either, but I'm not obsessive about it at all.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying, because standing up, I guess you're like, you don't want to sit down too long because then you might catch even more bacteria from the ring. I don't know.
Yeah, but I also don't sit for too long. I mean,
no, but I'm like, once I sit down, it doesn't matter. Like, ow, okay, electric shock. It's not like once you sit down, like whatever bacteria was there, it's there. Like it's not like it gets more after 5 minutes.
In my head, it's more and more like coming on you.
Yeah.
So then I'm like,
So technically, you believe in the 5-second rule, then?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you can imagine there's cheese on the floor, and then you have an army of bacteria in a ring,
and they're waiting and
like,
counting to 5.
4, 3, 2.
And
really?
That's me exactly. And I like in my head I see those bacteria being around that cheese.
Like you can't touch it yet.
No, it hasn't been fun because Monika. No,
it's safe to eat after 4 seconds.
But to be honest, like having a dog, there is no 5-second rule anyway because he's sitting there. And I can be just boiling water, and he's like drooling over the boiling water because he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
So as I step into the kitchen, he is there. So anything I'm gonna.
But is he sitting there because occasionally something falls down?
Yeah.
Yes. Because I mean, if it happens once, it can happen again. That's what dogs do.
Yeah. No, but
it happens at home too. Like sometimes cheese falls on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but he's the catcher. He waits.
Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't even make the floor because like he just catches it as it flies.
No, she waits and then she's like, "Was that a mistake? I don't think it was." And then she takes it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's well behaved.
She doesn't charge us at it. It's like, is it safe now? I think it was for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very nice though.
Yeah.
This one, as small as he is,
he's a go-getter.
He is a go-getter.
He's a go-getter.
Yeah. I just saw a funny thing today.
Mm-hmm.
It was a picture. It was again all over the internet, and it was a picture of Olympic athlete swimmer, and he was just about to get into the water, and then the text above it says, "If you are feeling useless, remember, there is a person being a lifeguard at the Olympics." And then behind him is the guy sitting with the floating. I don't know
the
life-saving thingy.
Float thingy.
Yes, and he's just sitting there like, just chilling, and it's like okay. And also, last time you were talking about Dublin.
Yes, Dublin. Yeah, Dublin.
I remembered. I actually was in a Dublin. I don't know if I said that before or not.
I don't think so. I think you might have mentioned that. Yeah, no, I think you said at some point, not on the podcast, but maybe you said that you went to Temple Bar at some point because I said that I used to live there.
The Temple Street, yeah. Is it the Temple Street or Temple Bar?
Temple Bar.
Right,
like the area, it's called Temple Bar. Then there is a bar called the Temple Bar.
Right.
But the whole area is called Temple Bar.
No, but I was in many, many, many bars that night. We only went there with my friend. Bar. Yeah, 100%. We went there with my friend, Zuzana. Just for 2 nights, I think. Yeah. And we did the pub crawl.
Yes. As you do in Temple Bar.
As you do. Yeah. So then we went to many, many, many bars.
Yes.
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 I wasn't really on the go that night that much, but still I managed to
get in the zone.
Yes. And then the thing is, because she is a bike rider. She rides a bike.
Yeah?
She's yeah, motorbike.
Not a mountain bike.
No. The normal motorbike you
sit
say.
in the back of that, yeah. No.
No, she's a bike rider. Yeah. Motorbike rider.
Okay, yeah.
And then back in the days when I used to live in England, I used to live in Tunbridge Wells. And it's quite far away from the airport. Mm-hmm. And then we were drinking the night before we supposed to fly to Dublin. Dublin.
To Dublin, yeah.
And so we were drinking a lot. And I used to be a drinker. I'm not really right now, but I used to be a drinker, and I used to have very bad hangovers that I would be throwing up all the time. That used to be me.
Yeah.
And so we were drinking until like 3-4 in the morning. We had to leave early in the morning also to get to the airport. She wasn't really drinking that much as she was driving because we were going on a motorbike, so she was riding the bike. Yeah. And I was going with her as a passenger. And so then when we woke up in the morning, I was completely fucking shit-faced. Which is not a good thing.
No. We've all been there.
No.
Yeah.
And then we just put the helmets on. Then she sat on the bike. I sat on a bike. She had the backpack. I had my backpack. And then we were is it driving or we were riding? Driving.
You were riding, she was driving.
Right. So we were going to the airport. We were going to the airport. And it takes about 2.5 hours.
That long?
Yeah.
You were that far away?
Yeah.
On a motorbike?
Yeah. Ugh. Okay, 2 hours on a motorbike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's leave it 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, long time. And I was so hungover that I did not throw up on the motorbike, but I was sleeping on her backpack. I was basically leaving. I was leaning forward, and I was just resting my head with the helmet on her backpack, and I was snoozing.
Holy hell!
How dangerous that can be?
Yeah, because you were not attached to anything. You're just sitting there.
I was just sitting there, but I made it, as you can see, right?
Wow.
It's been several years back. Yeah.
Wow.
So then we made it at some point, but she was also tired because she was also drinking, but not as heavily since she was the one driving and being responsible for the transport, yeah? So then we just got on the plane at some point, we made it, and she always says, as soon as she hears engine, she sleeps. She's like that. Oh, so then she was sleeping, and I couldn't sleep, whatever, it doesn't take that long to Ireland from England. Then we landed, and the thing was that we did not have anything planned. We didn't know where we're going to stay. So we were like, okay, we are here right now. What are we going to do? And we were so tired, so we took a nap at the airport. We were just like, fuck it. Oh. Let's not think about it for now.
But that's fairly safe, though. Travelers do. Like, when you're out traveling, your layovers and everything, you take a nap at the airport. Okay, go on.
We were just sleeping on the floor there. Yeah. We were just sleeping on, backpack each, and we were just sleeping at the airport for, hour 2, maybe, I don't know. And then at some point, we woke up, okay, so are we, ready, for woo, Dublin, yay,
Yeah.
And then we were we were having such a good time though. We made it to the hostel. It was a hostel. It was I don't know. It was weird.
Central?
Pretty central. Central. Uh-huh. Pretty. Yeah, but I don't really remember that much. It was only 2 nights there. Then we had a really good time going through the pubs and all. Checking out all the boys back then and stuff.
Irish.
Pretty boys in Ireland.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got the beautiful black hair with the green eyes. I know it sounds like a cliche, but they do have it, and pretty.
Yeah, but aren't they also ginger?
Well, that's a common misconception, though. It's more Scottish people that are ginger. You have the Irish ginger, but actually the Scottish are more ginger. And, fun fact, it's what I learned at the one guided tour I took in Dublin whilst I lived there. I was new. It's a genetic defect that came from the Vikings that went to that went to Iceland.
Sorry, I was just checking if I pressed the record button.
Yeah. No, the Scandinavian Vikings who were in Iceland, they apparently, because Iceland is so isolated, they had one mutant gene that made the redheads. This is what I heard, so if anyone has any other facts on this, I'm sorry, but this is what the guide told me at the guided tour in Ireland, all right? And this is why the redheads, because he said it's a common misconception with the redheads in Irish. Anyhow, the gene, and then the Icelandic Vikings went to Scotland, which is the closest part to Iceland. Mm-hmm. And they were the ones bringing the redhead gene, so it's mainly Scottish people, actually. But you still have the Irish, yes, you do, but it's mainly the Scottish. And it's a trace that goes back from the Vikings. And the reason why the Irish have black hair and green eyes, a lot of them, it's kind of like a common trait, is it's a mix from the Scandinavian Vikings, which had the light eyes, mm-hmm. and the Spaniards that came to Ireland and took over because there were different eras when you had the Scandinavian Vikings and the Spaniards. So it's a mix between them. You get the black hair and the
light eyes. Yeah.
So that's why they have that. But is what I heard. Go on.
No, but this is also like what I thought when I moved into Norway. I thought every single person,
blonde with blue eyes.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be the blonde with blue eyes.
Yeah.
Which is not really true, though.
No.
I mean, most of the time it is.
No.
The majority of people, not people, but women, though. Women are blonde with blue eyes.
A lot of them bleach their hair.
Yeah,
a lot.
Could be.
And also, because that's something I heard a lot when I started traveling abroad, when I said that I was Swedish, and everyone was like, you can't be Swedish. You're not blonde with... You have blue eyes. And I was like, no, they're green. But there's like, you can't be Swedish. You're not blonde. Like,
because no. I mean unless you actually like live in the country or know some people, so then you think that way.
I mean, because that's what you've seen on TV.
But just like you think that Irish people are ginger,
exactly.
So I thought even that Scandinavian in general will be blondes with blue eyes.
But it's
not even green eyes but blue eyes.
Green eyes is like 2% of the world population.
Which is you.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Which is you.
Yeah. Mine are like aqua green.
Well, your eyes are actually matching what you're wearing right now.
Exactly, so they're this green.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah, it is true, yeah. But anyway, like when I was in Ireland, it was only like literally like 2 nights. So then all we did, we were just like going through the pubs like from one to another and just drinking and just having fun, just me and her. It was okay. But again, unfortunately, Monika, we go drunk. So
as you do. In Dublin.
Yes, as you do in Dublin. So then we were flying back. And I was so hungover. Again. Like, big time.
Yeah.
And I was actually throwing up. And I told her, as we sat on a motorbike, and I had a small bottle of Coca-Cola in my pocket as well, just in case. And I was like, I'm really, really not well. And she said, do you know what? We're gonna go. If you feel like you want to throw up, tap twice on my shoulder, so then I know I have to pull over. Cool. So then we were on the motorbike going da-da-da-da-da-da. Then I was like, and I was stopping. Nothing. She just kept going.
No.
And then I was just like,
no.
And then she wouldn't stop because we were obviously on a motorway with 3 or 4 lines. So then you just can't pull over.
Oh no.
So she kept going.
Did you throw up in the helmet?
I did not. I did not throw up in the helmet. But then she kept going. So then I just swallowed whatever was about to come out. So I was like swallowing.
Yeah.
You know, and then I had a bottle of Coca-Cola. So then I just took it. And then I opened it. I just unscrewed the lid. And then as she was going quite fast. So then it just flew away. So then it just disappeared. I hope that nothing happened with that.
Yeah.
I opened the glass on the helmet. Poof. I grabbed the helmet. I pulled it down. Then I saw that in the mirrors, in the small mirrors, she was looking at me. She was even twisting the mirrors just to see what I'm actually doing. Because all I was doing...
still not stopping?
No. Because she couldn't. And then she just kept going. So then I just pulled the helmet down. I was drinking the Coca-Cola. And then she was just going and she was looking at me. And she was like, oh my God. You know, like that movement with the head.
Yeah.
And then I finished the bottle. Then I put it empty. back into my pocket. And then at some point she pulled over after like 30 minutes of me struggling like hell.
Yeah.
Then she turned around and she was like, "Did you tap twice?"
No. No.
And I was like, "What the hell? I was tapping all the time.
I nearly died here, you know? Holy hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that was
awful.
So that was a good one. That's a good memory. And I had many of those. Like I used to be that kind of drinker who would throw up all the time.
I mean, we've all been young, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would have bad ones that I would be like, it would be going out like even 8-10 times a day.
I mean, I wasn't much of a that kind of, but it was more like, shoot me now, kind of thing.
As in like the lazy hungover person.
As
with
in
the
like,
headache?
you come near me, I will shoot you. Kind of. Nah. No, but I do remember when it was, again, being a traveling day, me and my bestie Sarah, we were in Wellington, and it was the day before we were going to go down to the South Island to spend Christmas with my Uncle Benny's sister-in-law. They had actually, it was one of New Zealand's largest ranches. It was huge, beautiful, called Hunter Valley Station down in the south. It was down in Monika. And it was just absolutely beautiful. But anyhow, we were taking the ferry from Wellington down to Picton. And the night before, now Sarah was a good girl. Well, she wasn't, but she was better than me. And so she went home early, and I have, fear of missing out, have to end the night. Like, I have to be the last one leaving.
But you have it up till now. You do realize that, yeah?
I do have still the FOMO gene there. I do, but I feel better these days, though. But still. No, and we had to get up early, and I do not know what I took. It was lots of things going down to me there. And woke up in the morning, and my my flatmates were trying to wake me up because we had to make to the ferry. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I just don't want to go. Like, you guys go without me. I don't care. I'll take the ferry tomorrow. Like, just call Uncle Benny and say I won't be coming today. And they just did not want to. And Andrew Badger was a little shit. And
Andrew is actually listening to the podcast. So
he is. So I can say this to his face. Hello, Smelly. No, he usually calls me that. Anyhow. And he was taking the piss out of this. He thought it was so much fun because he had never seen me this bad. It was like the worst I've ever been. And it was really at the point where it's like, if someone comes near me, I will take whatever is closest and I will end their life. Like, that's how bad it was. And then he comes in with a bucket of water and throws it all over my bed and myself. So obviously I had to get up because I needed to try and kill him. I mean, it was just so bad.
But did it help?
Yeah, I mean, I got up. Yeah, and then they were just laughing about it. But I got ready. Yeah, I got to the ferry. But I remember sitting at the ferry. It was something about a carrot. I don't remember. I remember the ferry, the ocean, a carrot. And
a carrot?
Yeah. And
as in like...
I think maybe Sarah remembers what the carrot had to do with the whole story. I just remember there was a carrot involved.
Wasn't it maybe in the puke?
No. It was a carrot. But yeah, that's gonna be a later story. Sarah, tell me what that was. And then yeah, and then we got over to Picton, and there was an earthquake that everyone felt, but not me.
Because it was back in 2007.
This was just before Christmas 2007 because we went down to spend Christmas in the ranch.
Did it happen?
There was
more
I mean,
than
it happens
once?
all the time. Happens all the time down there, because Wellington is just on the fault line.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
And Picton is close to that. Oh, actually, where I worked in Wellington, Lambden Quay. It was Polkman's Lambden Quay. It was we really had nice stuff though, nice fashion. But Lambden Quay, the road itself, is the fault line. Mm-hmm. So if an earthquake comes and they separate, then it's just the street will open up. Like, that is where the fault line is. Like
it goes through the street?
Just outside the door where I worked.
Ah.
Yeah. So that was kind of scary.
Because I was mixing it now with because when I was there, I wasn't really in Christchurch. Are you talking about Christchurch? You were talking about
that was Wellington, and then I went to Picton.
Sorry.
Is the ferry, but we did go on our way back after Christmas in Hunter Valley Station. We took the bus from Monika to Christchurch, and we went to see Christchurch before the big earthquake. The earthquake, I believe, was in like 2000 and, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like 2009, 10-ish, something like that, which was devastating. I mean, it was terrible, absolutely terrible. So I'm glad I got to see it before it happened, actually.
Because I'm mixing it with when I wasn't in Christchurch that much or that long. It was maybe a week or so. And I wasn't really walking around and exploring and stuff. But when I was in New Zealand in 2020, something tells me that there was either in 2019, I think. It was a year before. Because I was following the news, which I don't. But I was following the news, like what's happening in New Zealand before I go.
Yeah, but that's a later one, though.
Yeah. But I mean, since I was never there before, so I've never seen it. But I was in Christchurch after the earthquake, which was very, very bad.
Yeah.
So then I saw Christchurch and I was like, yeah, it doesn't really look that pretty. I don't know if it does, but it didn't. And then I was explained that that's where the earthquake happened.
Yeah. But in that case, you came after the big one, because the big one was in 9 or 10. I think it was 9 or 10. And it was devastating because it was like they had... I don't think if the cathedral survived. Like, I have vague memories of Christchurch. Again, Sarah will know better. But...
Does she still live in New Zealand?
No, she lives in America. She is Americano.
Americano.
Yeah. She lives in New York. And California. She lives in 2 places.
I have a friend, Laura. She is from New York. And she lives in New Zealand, and she has a boyfriend who was in Christchurch
when it happened.
And he's got body injuries for life.
Right.
Yeah. Bless his heart.
Yeah, bless his heart.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, but he survived though. But it was very, very bad. But he was there.
Yeah. Tragic.
Absolutely tragic. I mean, I personally would like to experience it, but only if I would know that nothing's gonna happen to anyone, like just the shake itself. Yeah, because I think it must feel so surreal. And my mom, she experienced earthquake when she was in Germany, Austria, one of those. Because my dad was in one place, my mom was in the other, and I don't remember. But my mom, I think she was in Germany. She experienced earthquake. Nothing happened. Nothing was destroyed. No one was hurt. No one died. And this is the kind of thing that she said she would be in bed, and then she would wake up in the morning, and then everything would be like, like shaking.
It happened to my mom where I grew up in Sweden, Mariestad. It actually has earthquakes once in a while. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Earthquakes once in a while. It's not often, but it happens, and it's only a couple of years ago. I think there was a fairly big one. Like, no damage or anything, but it was a fairly big one. And I remember when I was just like a year old, my mom experienced one, and we were both home, and she said it sounded like it was a huge tractor driving past the house because all the plates and glasses in the cupboards were shaking, and it sounded like just a huge big tractor. And then she looked out the window, it was nothing there, and she realized, oh, it's an earthquake, and that was it. I remember her telling me that as a kid. But it happens once in a while. I read it a couple of years ago, and I think they actually felt it in Oslo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But it's still, this is something so surreal.
Yeah.
That, like, I would like to experience it, but only if I would know.
Yeah.
That nothing will happen to anyone.
So you don't want to be close to the fault line. You just want to be, like, on the tectonic plate, not by the edge of it.
Tectonic plate, that's a nice word.
Well, that's what it's called.
I know.
Yeah.
I know that one.
So, what you could do is, if you wanted to experience it, I mean, it happens once in a very rare while here in Scandinavia, but if you ever go back to New Zealand, for example, you could go to Wellington, because it happens once in a while there, since it's on the fault line. But also, I know that Picton, which is when you take the ferry from Wellington, you end up in Picton on the South Island, and they also feel it once in a while. It's not rare there, like it happens. So you could go, and there's a high possibility that you would experience it. I mean, it's not like going to the north and being like, oh, it's a guarantee you see northern lights here. I mean, you're not going to be guaranteed to get the earthquake, but it's a high possibility that you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of northern lights,
Yeah.
now when you mentioned it, I remember when I was packing for not New Zealand, but when Norway. I was packing for Norway. Yeah. Actually, we haven't actually talked about Norway, but we will get to it at some point. So like all I was wishing for to see Aurora.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. As you do.
Yeah. Aurora Borealis.
Yes,
and Borealis. And then when I arrived, I actually asked many people because I was like, okay, I'm in Gul, like nice, whatever, beautiful. But do you guys see Aurora here often? And I was told by absolutely everyone I would ask, they said, no, it's not here. It's up in the north.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Jesus Christ.
Yes, we've seen so many.
Oh my God.
It's all the time.
For the time I've been in Norway, I've seen it, like I wouldn't count it on two hands.
Yeah.
How many times I've seen it. And now I have it in my garden.
Yes. In your garden.
I literally have it in my garden. I can go on the terrace or go to the garden if it's on, obviously.
It's not in your garden.
But
you can go out in the backyard.
I don't have to drive all the way to north and stuff to see it. I can literally, when it's on, I can open the door, just go close the door.
Well, now it's so often that you don't have to take a picture every time. Now it's so often that it's like, oh, I missed it tonight, but it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal because it's coming again.
Because we've seen it so many times now. It's still equally as magic and beautiful every time.
Absolutely.
And I don't know about you. I think you do. But, there's the forecast on the weather app.
Yes,
and then when you see that there's going to be a powerful one with a KP level of at least 5 or 6, it's going to be a strong one.
It's going to be a good one.
No clouds or anything. Then we did it once where you and me and a friend of ours and we went to up on the mountains, like, because there's a spot where I know anyways there it's not that many light pollution.
Yeah.
It's very dark and it's super open, like you almost have 360 degrees of sky. It's just absolutely beautiful. I go there sometimes on really starry nights as well because I like the dark. And like I mentioned before. And then we went, but unfortunately the Aurora didn't show up that day, even though it was a forecast.
Because it was cloudy.
The spot, though, that we've gone to.
But I will never ever forget the first experience, because when I was hunting for Aurora.
Hunting.
Yeah. What did I say?
Hunting.
Hunting. When I was hunting Aurora for a long time, and I've never seen it before, ever. And I was following that forecast all the time. Yeah. And there would be nights that I would be standing outside for even like 1 hour, 1.5 hours, only in my flip-flops, just in case, because the forecast would show that it would come up.
It's supposed to happen now.
It's supposed to happen right now. I would have I would wash my hair, so I would just have like towel and wet hair and just my slippers, and I would be standing in -20 for like an hour, because I was like, it's gonna be, today is the day.
Yeah.
And I would be so disappointed so many times. And that one time where I was at home, I put the charcoal black mask on my face.
Of course you did, yeah.
Yeah. And then again, I received notification, Aurora, now, you know? Yeah. And I was like, bullshit. Yeah. I'm not going to fall into that trap ever again. Yeah. But I'm glad that I did. Yeah. Because I was like, because it was eating me inside. Yeah. Because I was like, what if I'm not going to go and have a look, and now it's going to be the time, which I did so many times. It happened. There it was. It was just again in front of the door. It was a different place I used to live. I opened the door, and then I saw something, because we don't have it that strong here, like those magical strong dancing auroras just like they have up in the north.
No, but that's because of the KP index. Like, you need to follow that, because if you have a 5 or a 6, or at least a 6, I think, then you actually do get the stronger ones.
True, but it wasn't that one. But still, at some point I think it was, because it was amazing. Yeah. And I went outside, and then I was looking at the sky, and I was like, hang on a minute, this does not look like a cloud.
No.
And then it was moving. It was like changing the shape. Yeah. So I just kept looking with the black charcoal mask on my face and towel on my head again. Yeah. And then I was like, this must be Aurora.
Yeah.
So then I was just banging on everyone else's door. I was just like, get out now, Aurora, Aurora. And only my friend Maria, she was like, okay, I'll go and have a look then.
Yeah.
We were standing there for like hour and a half,
Yeah.
hour and a half.
Yeah.
Again, it was cold, but not that cold.
No.
And it would be amazing moment just to take like the picture when you stand there and then the Aurora is behind you. But I still had the charcoal mask on in the dark, you see. So then all I was doing, I was just lying on the floor because it was moving like above us.
Yeah.
So then I was lying on the floor and I was like on the ground. And I was like looking at the Aurora and it was absolutely gorgeous.
Well, sometimes you just got to let the moment be the moment and not take pictures of it because it's just you and that moment and there's nobody else.
I mean, I took many pictures.
Yeah, but yeah.
Of the Aurora, obviously.
I have to say though, I mean, I have this sneaky suspicion that a lot of the people that said, no, there's never any Aurora here, they are the people, which is including myself before I got a dog. Who says that because you actually never go out in the evening, so you never look at the night sky. I mean, I still loved the dark and the starry nights and the night sky before I had a dog, but I just never did go out and actually look at it that often. I would look out the window and that would be it, but not all the time. But then I got her, and all of a sudden, I was always, every single night I was out, obviously, because you have to. And when I'm out, I look up. I always do.
You have to look up, yeah.
You have to look up. And that's how you see shooting stars, too. There are people who live to the ripe age of 70, and they're like, I've never seen a shooting star. But then it's like, oh, but obviously you didn't look up. You have to look up.
Yeah.
And that's when I got the dog. That's when I realized how many auroras, northern lights I've seen. Yeah, it's plenty. They're all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. We're so lucky.
We are super lucky. But I haven't seen it for a long time now, to be honest. But it's coming.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've missed it a few times. And then it's also been a lot of times where I've seen it on the forecast, but it's been like a lot of clouds. So...
That's the thing.
And the full moon doesn't help either.
No, because when you have full moon, Jesus, it is like... That's just like a full-on light.
Oh, it ruins everything.
It does.
If you say so. Like, the moon itself is beautiful, but not if you want to see the night sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are those natural things that you can actually see or experience, just like earthquake, which I've never did. But you did, but you just don't remember?
And no, I did, small? But I didn't... Yeah, well, once when I was small, but also in New Zealand, like, everyone were talking about, like, did you feel the earthquake? And I was like, no.
Are you drunk?
No.
Very drunk, Eleonor.
No. But, I mean, I might be jiggly.
Tipsy.
I was jiggly, so when it was shaking, it was just, I didn't feel it. No, I don't know. No. I was actually thinner back then, so I would have felt it. No, I didn't feel it.
I thought you meant something else.
No, jiggling.
Jiggling onto someone, maybe.
Yeah. No, I wasn't jiggling on anyone. At the time.
That night.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I was just like joking around with that. When the earthquake was...
Yeah.
Earthquakes, what was happening? Yeah, no. Okay.
Anywho. But yeah, no. There was several times actually where I had people say like, "Did you feel the earthquake last night?" And I was like, "No, I was sleeping. I didn't notice anything." But I'm also like, I don't wake up easily. Once I'm asleep, unless it's close to the alarm in the morning. Then I do wake up. But in the middle of the night, no, not so much.
Well, I mean, I got that impression when we met.
That I'm a heavy sleeper.
No, that you are easy sleeper because
Easy.
I will never forget. We were having some party back in the days, where we were like everyone was partying and chilling, and then I was just looking for Eleonor, and she was sitting on the floor,
Yeah.
resting towards the wall, and now if you are not watching it with the video, so then that's your problem, because I looked and I was like, where is Eleonor? And then I see her sitting, resting against the wall, with the mouth open.
I mean, and I wish you would have taken a picture.
I'm not a mean girl.
Oh, I mean,
yes, I am, but I
should have to show me. Like, I think these things are funny. Like, if you take a picture, and you show me. No, it was
funny.
I think it's funny. Yeah, so I wouldn't be offended.
Are you sure I didn't?
I'm sure you didn't because I'm sure I asked you like, why didn't you take a picture? I'm the kind of person, it's like, if I get a picture like that, I could print it out and put it on the wall in the staff room.
I would probably make it a profile picture for me, because I also like to make fun of myself, so it's fine.
Yeah. So that's fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is the episode probably done, because we are approaching the correct time.
For once.
Because last 2 episodes, I think, was
we
kind
were
of
exceeding.
Overdue.
Yes, it was. But it's because we're having so much fun, though.
We are, and this is like never-ending topic, and I enjoy that so much.
Topic.
Oh.
Yeah.
But we will again see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being with us. And as
usual, always, go on Instagram, Monelli Talks, in one word, no dots. I mean, to be honest, we have the dots. They need to be there because I made the sign. But when you search for it anywhere, it's never the dots. It's
once we're gonna have our merch. The merch will be with Monelli Talks.
When you buy the T-shirt.
No, the panties.
Oh yes, we're selling panties like Ellen. Boxer shorts and panties.
Or last time when I was talking about those little thongs for the toes.
We should be selling those.
Absolutely, that would be the merch.
The toe tongs.
And if you don't know what we are talking about, you will hear it in the last episode.
So yes, and Instagram, and then it's Spotify. Go in there, follow us, give us a click, and YouTube. Subscribe, like us, and please support us. And please listen several times.
Yeah, so then just we get the views. But you will see.
Yes.
One day.
All right. But thank you all for joining us this week. It was fun, as always.
And we'll see you next time.
Woohoo!
Bye!